Hey everyone, I have got the next issue of Colouring Heaven magazine, so I thought I would do a flip through for you, maybe a bit of colouring and a bit of a chat about Colouring Heaven. Now, I am sponsored by Colouring Heaven at the moment, in the sense that they're sending me free magazines to show you, and so I need to sort of disclose that right from the start. But I can tell you a little bit about membership. Now, up until the end of August, there's a little bit of time left now, but it depends when you're viewing this video, because it's very near the end of August recording this. There is a deal where you can pay £3 and get 3 issues. Now, that deal was obviously UK only. Sorry, that's not very good that way around, is it? But other countries have similar deals. It's worth having a little look if you want to have a try. Now, what happens is, when you're a member, you get various things. You can buy a back issue, and you get of any of the magazines, the monthly ones, but also they do other specials, magazines and different things as well, and get 10% off those. You can have free access to their Colouring Heaven Discovery Club sent to your inbox. I don't know what that is. I haven't had many emails from that. You get a sneak peek of the new issue, apparently, although I didn't get one of this. The issue just came quite early, and so you can go log in and create a password and just sort of get going, really. Excuse me, the link in my video description will take you to the cheap deal while it still exists, and that is my affiliate link, so I get some benefit from that as well, but it doesn't cost you any more money. And then once that switches to a sort of normal deal, back to normal, it'll be that deal instead, whatever that happens to be. As I say, it varies from country to country. Oh, it's something on the back there. Here we go. Yeah, it just tells you to make sure that you've got all your benefits sorted out. Right, so here is the latest issue, and they're always called a special, the monthlies. This is really long, it won't fit in my shot very well, but never mind. These are Gothic Pinups special, so we've got a few samples on the front. Now, importantly, only human art. They always use an artist. They do have some specials out at the moment. They've got one by Morgan O'Brien, which is one of his Annie Day books. Annie Day. There's one by R.J. Hampson, which is one of his little simple sleeping creature books. They've even got the ink house that you can buy, and the advantages of buying from them rather than in the original formats can be the size and the paper. Now, R.J. Hampson and Morgan O'Brien both use Amazon paper, and this paper, in my opinion, is a little bit better. It's a little bit thicker. It's still single-sided, so the advantage in buying this and rather than the ink house book, which is a beautiful hardback book, is that you get it single-sided, which you don't in the book. So there are pros and cons. So let's have a look. You get 40 designs. Let's have a quick look at the back. Oh, that just tells you about some others. Fashionable Fairies was last month's, which I did a flip through of. There's an autumn special, which apparently I'm going to be sent a copy of. I don't know if that one is the current one or last year's. There's a Taylor Swift one. This is a pocket one. The sort of kawaii designs of Taylor Swift, Africa, Amanda. There's all sorts of ones. If you go on their website, you can buy individual magazines. You don't have to subscribe. You can buy individual. As soon as I get a link to this one on its own, I'll put it in the description. Okay, so let's have a look. So these are by Anna Marine. I've not heard of her, but some of you may, especially if you like the sort of Gothic type art. So let's have a little look through. So open it up, and we've got a little bit of a intro here by the editor, as you would normally get in a magazine. And she says, by popular demand, we present the bewitching designs of Anna Marine, featuring your beautiful calling card characters in pin-up style poses and crisp line art. Eagle-eyed subscribers may spot a few designs in this issue that have been previously featured, giving them a chance to colour again in a different style or compare how the colouring has progressed over the last 2 years. So obviously 2 years ago they featured this artist. I'm looking forward to getting in some early Christmas colouring with the Naughty or Nice Krampus. We'll have a look. Which sign will you choose? Right, we'll have a look. We'll see this Christmassy one. And there's a little bit about Meet the Artist, and there's a section within Colouring Heaven's website where you can meet different artists, and there are interviews with Morgan O'Brien, for example, in there, so you can have a little look. Quite interesting. I had a read of that. Now let's try and put this in a position so you can see it, because it's a bit big. There we go. So she has got an eye in the middle of her forehead. I find that a little bit odd, but I guess that's the style of this sort of drawing. But I like all the rest about it. Nice roses, got a bit of tattoo and different things going on. And oh, they've all got names. Look, so she's called Bad Habits. This one goes Demonology. And look at her horn. I like that. She's got sort of pixie ears as well. It's quite fun. And this one's called Protection. So they have a blank, as you can see, a blank back. So if you want to use markers, you can use them, even alcohol markers. But the paper is thinnish. It's not as thin as copy paper. It might be. It's a bit more textured. It's quite nice. I like colouring on it. It's nice paper, but I'm not too fussy when it comes to paper, to be quite honest. If you're not sure about the paper, they sell them in newsagents in the UK and WH Smith's. I think they sell them in Barnes and Noble in America. I don't know where else. So you can go and have a feel for yourself and have a look. So she's got a sort of pointy ears too, horns. I like horns. Like that, I don't know why. Anyway, this one's called Summer Moon, and she's got another moon design which matches one in the sky. It's a, my mum used to call that a bucket. Is it a bucket moon? I can't remember. So it was going to rain. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got some nice florals, and she's wearing a little. I'm not sure because she's got that as if she's wearing stockings, but then she's not wearing clothes here. I don't know. Maybe it's a tattoo. She's got this sort of skull there. This one's called Summer Witch. I like this one. Apart from the snake, which I didn't spot until I looked down. Wild Rose. There's a lot of skin. If you like colouring skin, then there's a lot to do. I bought my Christmas tree to do a bit of colouring because I knew they're obviously all faces. So this one's got a bit less. It's got covered over here. Flower Moon, she's called. So this is a moon. I thought it was a hat when I first looked. It's the moon. And Rose Goddess, look at her eyes. I'd have to draw them in. That's too scary for me. Sweet Revenge. Now she looks very cute, doesn't she? Her little brolly, but you know, I don't think she's necessarily meant to be that cute. If I Stay, so it says things are better if I stay. I think that's what it says. It's really hard to read. Anyway, there's this quite a simple one there. The Reason. So this is it's a very pretty boy, I think. Good Night. Oh, in a coffin. So long and good night. Hotel. This is called Bella Merte, and it says Hotel Bella Merte. It's got a lovely key to colour. Kitsune. So she's got little wolves. She's the one we saw before with this sort of tattoo-y thing going on. Fairy Ring. So we've got all the little mushrooms. I think I'd be tempted to draw colour clothes on some of these just because it's easier. Demonology. Again. It's got a little bit of a leaf going on there. Which Way? Oh, look at that. Is she crying? Spirits of Halloween. Oh, we've got pumpkin. That's fun. And ghosties. Coffee and Black Magic. She's got a sort of skeleton outfit on. That's really cool. Sitting on a pumpkin. I like that. I don't like her third eye. But, you know. Oh, this one's round this way. This is called Tarot Night. So she's looking at her cards. There's a witch, skull, all sorts going on. Cactus moon. So she's sitting on the moon. She's got cacti behind her. Wicked witch. Who's doing a handstand? That's pretty clever. That's pretty cool. Forest witch. Got a nice plants colour. I like her. As above, so below, which is what it says on here. So I think that's a moon. I don't know what these are. Got gemstones here, but what these? Are they just rocks? Not sure. Halloween forever. It's a bit naughty, isn't it? Witch's spell. So she's on a pumpkin. A lot of sort of witchy, well, yeah, it's not surprising, but sort of Halloweeny themed stuff. I guess it's coming up, isn't it? Witch's brew. Witching hour. Oh, so it's a bit more simple. We've just got our cauldron, but we've got all these bits. It could do sort of magical background. Moon witch. I like her. And the broom witch. Let's look at her boots. They're fab. And she's trick or treat. Autumn brew. Ah, the pumpkin spice latte, I'm guessing. These cherries, maybe? I don't know. The end. So she's got her skeleton costume on. Maroon sunset. Night in enchanted forest. Look at her feet. She's a like a deer. Look at her. She's got antlers. Samhain night. Got some buildings in this one to do as well. And the apple. Winter apples. So we're getting a bit more wintry, Christmassy, aren't we? Look, we've got holly. What's going on? Oh, Yule. She's nice. I like her plaits. Solstice. And there's this Krampus. So she's got her fur because she's sort of, I'm not sure. It says naughty question mark there. Oh, nice there. So she's like delivering Christmas things. Okay, I'm going to choose one and do a bit of colouring. I just realised my lamp isn't on. I think it'll be a bit easier for me to see what I'm doing. I was thinking about doing this one because it was quite simple, but I rather like her, so I'm going to do a little bit of her. I need some paper to go behind the page. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to do all of her, but I thought we could do the face, because that's the sort of hardest bit. There we go. Maybe out a little bit. I'm just not going to do the umbrella probably. So I've got my Prismacolors because I know they're easier for faces, or at least for me. So I will make a start. I haven't brought my Prismacolor sharpener through. I'm a bit blunt, so I'm going to start with beige. I tend to on a face. Here it is, beige. It's quite small, this one. Now we've got a mesh here from a sort of like a veil, but I'm going to ignore that at the moment. Just do my face colours first. We can put a little bit over after for that. Just did that ear there so I didn't forget. And we'll just do face. And there's hair. Just working it out as I go through what's what. Now I know her lips aren't going to be this colour and everything. I just like to get a sort of base down, just get me going really. There we go. I'm going to do the whole of her arms as well with this. I'm just going quite quickly, as you can obviously see. All in shot, yeah. And because this is just my sort of initial layer, and I know skin isn't this colour, it's just how I always start, and I find it just works out for me. Now I'm trying to think about what colour to do all the other items in the picture, you know, the umbrella and the bodice and that sort of thing. I think the rose needs to be red, the umbrella, maybe the heart's red, maybe the umbrella black. Right, that's our start. Okay, simple. And now I am going to grab a couple of colours. Right, I'm going to start with the nectar. It's a lot darker, and mark out some shadowy areas. So I'm going to start here, down the side of the nose here, and along here. I'm not pressing too hard. I leave a slightly lighter edge just along the edge of the jawline, not too much, or else it makes it look like she's got a double chin. Now I'm trying to work out where her lips are. We'll have a bit of shadow there, like that. I'm thinking now the edges of the neck, there'd be a bit of shadow, particularly under this side here. Now this isn't necessarily the right colour for shadow, but we can get it, mix it in later. So I need to work here. So the base, the chin, because chins stick out, you get a shape like that, so you need to just gently put the colour in and bring it up there. And what we also want is a bit of light on the cheekbone, so we can bring in this a bit here and leave a lighter area there. Now this is looking quite dark, but it will or put a lighter colour over it and tone it down. You'll see. Like that. And it will look, it looks very harsh, but it will come together. I think a bit there. Now I think along, all the way along the hairline will be a little bit darker, like that. Now the arms, so we want, basically with the arms we just want it darker on the edges, like that. And hands, this will be shadow and darker bits at the bottom of the fingers. Like that. There we go, and up the edges of the arms. And it's quite rough, but Prisma allows us to do that because we can now get our light peach and work with it, so over the top of what we've done, and sort of blend it into the space. So on the forehead, for example, that dark area on the edge will just gently take the colour towards the middle. So here, for example, we can sort of draw it in, sort of like that. here under the eye, just bring it so that we've got a lightish area, and we can just use this to sort of blend it and smooth it out. She'll look a lot better once she's got some lips. Now she's Gothic, so she should be really pale, but that isn't how I've coloured her. I didn't do much here. I'm just going to bring a bit of shadow up from there. This bone would be light, like that, and then the arm. We can just bring the colour in from the edge of it. And I'm doing it quite quick, aren't I? Oh, shaking the whole desk as I go. There we go. Yeah, very different to what I would normally colour, but actually quite a lot of fun. I'm getting much more confident at doing skin tones, and although she's definitely too dark at the minute, I know that I can make it work, which is good. That is too low. The shadow should be here, not there. So I'm going to erase a little bit on the sort of where her cheekbone would be, which is, I think, here. So I just rubbed my eraser on some scrap paper to make sure that I wasn't going to transfer. The other day I tried to erase something. My eraser had blue on it. And that was a disaster. Right, next we're going to use some purple. Yeah, purple. Which colour is the best? I think the grey lavender is the best, actually. We're going to put in some of the shadows. So under the chin here, this bit here. You can see how it tones down that red a bit as well. So we'll put a bit in there. Now, thinking more along here. And then there'll be a bit here. And along here. There we go. Now, where should we go? I am thinking maybe what's this? Deco peach. Use a little bit of deco peach. And just smooth some bits out. Like that. So I'm really just going over most of it again, just with this light colour. Finding the more layers you add, the better really it can improve. and you can see this paper is taking plenty of layering up. Not that I'm pressing terribly hard, and of course Prismas are quite soft, so they don't tend to fit up paper, fit up the what's it called? The little gaps in the paper that allow you to layer up your pencil, as long as you don't press too hard. Prismacolor don't tooth, that's the word. There we go. Now I've just realised I haven't done this ear, so I'm going to put a bit of this actually deco peach over it. I need to do a little bit of darker area in this. I'm going to grab the nectar. But also a bit here too. And then go over it with our light peach. And inside, where it's really shadowy, use a bit of our greyed lavender. There we go. Now, lips. I just find them harder. Drawing them on has been quite difficult. Let's have a think. I'm just going to manoeuvre my pencil case a little bit. Sorry, I've knocked you. Goth black, red. Let's go for a dark red, I think, rather than the black. This is a crimson lake. Okay, now I'm just going to mark. I think it's going to look quite strange. It doesn't look strange. I don't know whether she's supposed to have lips or not. I've left some little gaps in there which from where her lipstick might be shiny. Now when you do her eyes, I'm going to do some blue, I think. There's some really pretty blues. I'm going to go for this one. This is the non-photo blue. Now it's quite blunt, but I think it'll be okay. Just going to fill the whole of that with there. I should have, there's actually a space there left for a white shine which I accidentally covered over. I'll go back over that after. And now I want a bit of a darker blue. I'm going to use this one. This is the true blue, and I'm just going to go around the very inside and the very outside. Just put a few lines in there. It's a really simple way to do an eye like that. And then we need a little bit of grey because eyes aren't, they have shadow on the white. So I'm going to use this 30% cool grey. Just put in a bit of shadow from the lids. Just sort of fade it a bit, don't leave a harsh line. You can, because it sort of would, but I think it just looks if you fade it a tad. I'm going to draw that white dot back in that I coloured over because I want it there. This is my jelly roll turn. I want to remember that to do it, and I'm going to go over that one as well, just to really work them in. Now the lips, I'm actually going to leave them. I do think I want a little bit more shadow under here though, and now I've got my greys open. I'm just going to grab my 50% warm grey, put a little bit of shadow in under here, this corner. We did a bit with the lavender. I just don't feel it was quite dark enough. There we go. I think I'm just going to leave it there though. I'm not going to overdo the shadows. Now, hair. Again, I'm going to do the hair, but I'm going to ignore the netting bit until after. Now, what I often do with hair is, she's going to have black hair, isn't she? Okay, I'm going to do her earrings first. I've changed my mind. I'm going to use the Crimson Lake that I used for her lips first as a base, but I just think it'll be a bit easier to do these before I do the hair. I was thinking maybe her hair should just be black, but it's going to be a bit severe. I've never coloured black hair before. But I'm sure I can do it. I'm having a little think. While I'm just doing this, I want a darker red just to finish those off. Here we go. I'm using the Tuscan red. I've just got to sharpen it. I've only got a regular sharpener in here, not one I normally use for Christmas, but never mind. I want to do a darker bit on the outside. Oh, it's going to crumble on me. A darker outside to make them look like they're not flat. And then just scumble that in. Now, let's just brush that off because it's a bit crummy. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and do the black hair. But I'm not going to start with black. Should we start there or there? Yeah, I'm going to start with 70% cool grey. Okay, and go over all the hair with a layer of our cool grey first. So I'm not doing it too hard. It's like when we did the skin, we just did a sort of base. And that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if that's skin or hair in there. Have a think. So just colour it away. I try to colour in the direction that the hair would be growing. It's drawn with lines mainly, this bit isn't, but it's usually quite, you know, it tends to like that. You know, it's fairly straightforward really. Now I do sometimes wonder whether these magazines are actually designed for pens or markers, but because I don't use markers, I'm going to do her eyebrows while I remember. I don't really try them, so I don't know. I'm sure I have tried markers in some of their books, and they're fine. They work. The water-based markers and alcohol markers work. I've tried. Water-based markers don't work in every type of book. Sometimes they eat away at the paper and make it quite nasty. That certainly doesn't happen in this book. These books, their water-based markers go down fine. Also, some books I find if you use water-based markers, they stay wet. They don't dry quickly, which can be a bit, and gel pens and things, and then you can smudge them. As some gel pens can be smudgy anyway, you obviously have to be a bit patient and give them time to dry, but some books are better for that than others, and these seem fine for that. No, I found them quite good. What's that? Is that a bit of hair? Yeah, could be a bit of another flower or something, but I can do his hair. It's quite nice grey hair. Grey hair is very popular even in younger people now. I don't know whether that's the same everywhere. In the UK, a lot of younger people having their hair dyed grey, but I think it's a daring choice. I think if you're really young, then you can, it's obvious that it's a dye and then it's fine, but I think if you're a bit older, I'd be a bit reluctant. This is a 90% cool grey. It might be our final colour, it might not be, but what we're going to do is, the way I do hair is I make it dark at the base and then go a bit lighter as I go up. So here is my sort of top of this particular bit of hair here, so I'm making that darker and then I'm just fading it down. You can do lines, because that's how hair looks and grows, like that. Okay, it doesn't have to be too complicated, like that, and then down from here. And then it looks like you've got a bit of texture in your hair rather than it just being all one solid colour, which can work really well in some cases, and especially, like, you know, she's probably needs thick black hair really, but I just don't. I think she's pretty. I don't want to give her a block of hair. I want to show some of her waves in her hair, I think, which is why it's quite good to sort of do it in little sections. And quite often hair is drawn in sections to makes that a bit easier. There we go. I was thinking of colour with Claire when I was doing this. She loves sort of horror and gothic stuff. She really liked this magazine, but some of the pictures I'm really liking. Some of them aren't my cup of tea, but that's fine. And you can buy, I don't know if I said or made it very clear, I want quite a dark parting here though. I don't know if I made it clear that you can buy single issues of Colouring Heaven magazine. It's more expensive to just pick one and buy it, but it means that you can choose the one. Some people love having a magazine through every month and not quite knowing what they're going to get, and that's absolutely fair. But if you prefer to know what you're getting, then you can wait until the issue has come out and it gets onto their website, and you can just buy that single issue. And as far as I'm aware, the postage is included in the cost, so depending on where you're looking at it from, it seems to adjust, I think. But if you're not sure or a bit worried, just message them. Their customer service is fabulous, or in my experience anyway, I always get messages back really quickly, although I deal with their social media manager rather than their general customer services, but she's very, very good, very quick, very efficient, very informative, useful, you know, all that sort of thing. So I'm sure their customer services probably is. But if you've got any questions about postage and stuff, import duties, things like that you might be worried about, then just ask them, and I'm sure they'll come back to you pretty quickly with all the info that you might need. But I am still tempted to get a couple of their to get the R.J. Hampson and the Morgan O'Brien copies. I've seen them in W.H. Smith's, actually. They're there now. I had a look at them and I just wasn't quite sure. I couldn't really justify buying them because I've got so many books, but you know how it is. Now, it looks quite black really, even though we haven't used any black yet. I'm just going to put a bit more colour down here. So that's that. I am going to grab my black now though. So this is our black, and fill it. Now here there's a few areas drawn in as if they should be extra dark, so I'm just doing those like that. I'm not sure I want too many dark, a bit there where it's sort of behind here, it's sort of shadowed by her face a bit. Maybe these bits around the ear here. I think I'm going to leave that there because I'm going to do this necklace in black. This, I'm thinking black leather here, and sort of fade it off a bit to make it, try and make it look like it's a bit shiny, like that sort of shiny leather. Now, where should we go? I want to do this line here in black as well, while I've got the black in my hand. There and there. To be a bit careful with black pencil in particularly Prismas because it can smudge. Now I'm going to use the Tuscan red for her bodice, so I'm just going to colour that in. There's a bit of a, no, I think there's a bit of lace. I don't think I missed that. Now, I was only going to colour her face and her hair, but I'm getting carried away now. I just want to get it finished because I'm having fun with it. I want to see what she looks like when she's done. But I'm trying to wonder what colour to do the umbrella. I'm still thinking, because I could do the handling, I could do it black, but it's not all black. She doesn't have to be black. You know, we've got this rose to do as well. We'll do that. She does look, it's called Sweet Revenge, isn't it? She does look quite innocent, I think. Oh, I did have a Colouring Heaven magazine once where the pink pictures were actually not colouring pages, they were someone's sort of painting artwork, and you could look them up and copy the colours, and that was quite an interesting idea. And it gave you, like, if you weren't sure of how to colour a particular bit, you could look at it and see. I'm going to use my 50% warm grey to put a little bit of shadow in here. I think that's it, and maybe under her hand. Yeah, a little bit of shadow there under her fingers. Okay, now the cross I think I'm going to do in just a silver pencil, metallic. Okay. I don't often use, I've not done her thumb, have I? Let's quickly do that. So I'm just going to try a bit of Deco Peach. That might be enough. Let's put on a tad of Nectar, just at the bottom there. There we go. No more. That's fine. I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil it because I'm really happy with how it's beginning to look. Now this rose, I don't think I'm going to start with this dark crimson lake. I think I'm going to start with a slightly lighter red. What's that one? Yeah, this is the Scarlet Lake. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to do a light layer over the whole rose, a bit like we've been doing already, with a lot of the bits and pieces. This time I'm just doing it quite quick and rough. I'm not worrying about a direction because everything's going to be in different directions. Right, now the very centre of the rose will be our darkest point, really. And I'm just going to start marking out these petals by going around the edges a bit. Now this one, bottom, the tips are going to be lighter and the deeper bits darker. So I'm just going to start, like here it's easier for you to see, so dark here and then lighter as we go up there. Now this is a tipped over bit, it's a bit tricky, so I think a bit there and a bit here, just sort of join them up. I always find the roses quite difficult to colour, but we're getting there. Hopefully it looks like it has a bit of shape. Now you may notice how fast this is getting done. I find Prismacolors extremely quick to colour with because they give you an intense layer very fast. So you can get things done quickly. Now our umbrella, the handle. We could do it in the silver now. I don't really want it in a completely different colour. We could do it in that red. No, I'm going to do it in a grey. I'm going to do it in a cold grey. Yeah, there's 70% cold grey. That's what I'm going to use. And try and put a bit more on our edges compared to the middle. And then it helps to give it a little bit of shape. Slightly lighter area. I don't want to actually leave blank paper because I'm just going to sharpen this because I don't want it to look really shiny, just a little bit. Just trying to give it a bit of shape. There we go. Hopefully it won't sort of disappear too much into the hair. Let's put it down a bit so we can see the body. And there. Now, umbrella colour. Well, I'm thinking could go really black, but I think there's too much black in the hair, so I'm going to go red. So I'm grab this. This is the Scarlet Lake that I used for the rose, but I'm going to put this down as a quick initial layer. Oh, messy. Now, umbrellas have interesting shape in them. They're sort of sometimes dipped in, like here I think this is dipped in, so we're going to add some darker colours to certain areas to try and emphasise that shape. I want to try and do all my lines in this direction, but it's not always possible because there's a amount of space. You need to be careful near the hair because the greys and blacks will smudge, same as the handle. Oh, that's me hitting my pencil sharpener. So although I'm going quite fast, I'm trying to be quite careful just around those sorts of areas. And yes, it looks quite scribbly at the moment. That's okay. We will get it smoothed out later. Now her face, looking at it, you know, she doesn't look like a pale goth, you know, that maybe she should, but I quite like to do different colours in my face, you know, different tones. So I felt I'm happy with it looking like that, but you might want to just leave yours quite white if you want to sort of fit more in with the theme. I think with her dark hair it works anyway. Now, before I forget, I'm going to do this veil. Now, black, be very careful. Just going to go just going to layer up until I'm happy that it's looking okay. Don't want it too dark. There, I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, we've done our initial red, so now I'm going to come in with my Crimson Lake. I'm going to start looking here, so a line here and here. I just think slightly fade it towards the sort of centre of there, like that. And we're going to do that with every sort of section. So quite a lot here, and then sort of fade it in towards the sort of centre area. And how many layers you do and how thick is up to you. But there we go. And then this one. The sun's just gone in. So this is the other side of it. This one. Just adjusting in my seat. Now, if you particularly like this magazine, then you won't get it if you sign up to the cheap summer deal, because it's already come out. So you'll have to buy it as a single edition directly from Colouring Heaven. But you can have, they do flip throughs on their own YouTube channel. So although I've got a flip through of last month's, I don't have flip throughs of all of them. I've got a few. Now I want this top section to be a bit lighter because it's on the front. So I'm actually going to go back to the Scarlet Lake to do this bit. So if you want to see what sorts of things they have included, or if you're interested in a specific one and you want to see what it's like, then you can go there and have a little look at a flip through. And it will enable you to see what to expect, really. I think it's always a good idea. I would never buy a colouring book without seeing a flip through first, she says, lying. I do buy Johanna Basford's. I would buy hers regardless, but anything else I wouldn't. I'd always want to see what was in it before I bought it. But obviously with the subscription, you don't know, you get a surprise, and some people like that. And if you look at the sorts of things magazines often have, then it gives you an idea of what to expect from the subscription, really. You know, I think that's a good idea. Right, I'm going to go back down here. I'm still using my same colour, but I want to just tidy up all of this because we only did the very edges. I want to do another layer everywhere. I'm not staying in the lines very well, but that's me, that's what I do. I don't stay in lines. I just have fun, and I certainly am enjoying this one, I have to say. Didn't think I would. When I saw what theme it was, I was like, oh, that's not my sort of thing. And here I am, having a whale of a time colouring this in, because it's different. So you just don't know, do you? Right, a little bit more shadow under here to make this look a bit less flat. So I'm going to use the Tuscan red, which is the one we use down here for the bodice. Right, Tuscan red. So I'm going to put just a little bit along these edges here to try and make it look like it's casting a bit of a shadow. Now the thing I think just needs doing is on her lace, I'm going to use a little bit in places of grey to just make a little bit of a shadowed look, because you can see where it's sort of overlapping and twisting and things. So here is our 20% cool grey. I'm just going to put a bit there on these inside edges a bit, and hopefully it might give it a slightly more three-dimensional look as well. In there's not quite enough flesh tone for me, so I'm just going to use my light peach to put a bit more colour in there. And there we are. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, I think I'm happy with her. Let's put her straight so you can see her. There we go. So there she is, Sweet Revenge as she's called. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, well, thank you for watching. All the codes you need and information is in the description, so do pop down and have a look if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you for watching and happy colouring.